So I had a few long strips of fabrics left over from my earlier projects, and now I have decided to make a yoga mat cover out of it. So for that I have cut these fabrics into approximately 3 inches in width and of whatever length they are. So they are of different lengths. Start by joining the strips together with each other. For that I'm going to take 2 strips, place the right sides together and join them with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I also have joined all these long strips together. These are of different lengths. Now I'm going to iron it over once and then cut a rectangle piece measuring 17 inches in width by 31 inches in length. I thought I'll make a reversible yoga mat cover. So I have taken another beautiful printed cotton fabric piece of the same measurement, that is 17 inches by 31 inches. Now this is going to be the other side of the yoga mat bag. So for the handles I have taken 2 pieces measuring 3 inches by 25 inches in length. Taking the longer strip of fabric of one side, I'll fold it into half, draw a crease with my fingers and then open the crease, bring the 2 longer edges to the center, the crease that we just made, and fold it in the center again, and give a stitch on the open side as well as the closed side for a symmetrical look. I'll do the same for both the strips. Our handles are ready now, and now we have to decide where exactly we want to put them on the fabric. For that I'll take the stripped fabric first, fold it into half lengthwise and then fold it again widthwise. So I'll fold it again and mark the center on the open side. So this is where my center is. I'll mark it using a pin. Open the fold and then decide where to place the handle. So if I take the handle and I place it somewhere like here, that should be good. I'll measure it how much it is. So I am going to place it at 7.5 inches from the center. So this is my center. I am placing the handle at 7.5 inches from there. I'll pin it and I'll do it on both the sides. I make sure that I do not twist the handle while bringing it here. So this is 7.5 inches and I have it here. I'm gonna pin it and I'll do the same on the other side of this handle too. I'll make sure that I do not twist it in between. After attaching the handles, I'm going to take the stripped fabric, fold it into half, and so that the right sides are facing each other and the handle gets sandwiched between its own right sides. And I'm going to give a stitch on the longer side as well as one of the shorter sides. And I'm going to do the same with the printed fabric also. While stitching the longer side, I left a gap of 1 inch on the top edge, on the open edge of the 2 fabrics. Now this is at 1.5 inches from the top. I'm leaving a gap of 1 inch and then I'm stitching over again. So from the top edge, the top open edge, I'm stitching till 1.5 inch, and from there I have left a gap, an opening for the drawstring for 1 inch, and after that I continue stitching. I have done the same on both the fabrics, the striped fabric as well as the printed fabric. So this is 1.5 inches from the top I have stitched, left a gap of 1 inch and then continued stitching the entire length. I want a square bottom for my yoga mat bag. and I want the square to be of 4 inches. So on the bottom edges of both the striped fabrics and the printed fabric, I'm going to cut a square of 1.75 inch so that I get a square bottom of 4 inches. I'm going to do it on both these pieces. I'm going to pick up the corner diagonally like so and match the two seams together, the bottom seam as well as the side seam, something like this, and then give a sleeping stitch over this. I'm going to double stitch here so that it gets strong and sturdy, and I'm going to do the same on the other side too. For other side, I'm going to match the bottom seam with the center crease, and this is going to come out nice and neat. And again, I'm going to double stitch, and I'm going to do the same on the printed fabric as well. After stitching the boxes, this is how it looks. Now I'm going to turn over one of it to the right side and insert it inside the other piece of fabric. So I'm going to turn over the striped one to the right side and just check how the box has become. Wow, this looks really nice. This is how my boxed corner turned out to be. Now I'm going to insert this in the other piece of fabric, the printed one, with the two right sides facing together. So right side of this is going to be inserted in the right side of the printed one. Before inserting, I'll just cut a notch, little notch to mark the center on both these pieces. So center for that as well as center for this. Little small notches here. And now I'm going to insert it in the other one, something like this. Now to avoid bulk on one side and make it symmetrical, I'm going to match the notch of the inner fabric with the printed one's seam, and the other side also I'm going to match the notch with the seam, and I'm going to stitch over the entire circumference, leaving a gap of about 3-4 inches for turning it inside out. After giving a stitch on the entire circumference and leaving a gap of 3-4 inches, I'm going to turn it over to the right side and then give a top stitch and make the drawstring casing. So let me do that. Wow, this is almost taken shape. Now I'm going to insert either one inside the other and give a top stitch first and then make the drawstring casing. Just finger press it nice and neat. So the top stitch is going to close this opening as well as let it sit nicely. This is how it looks after giving a top stitch and closing the opening that we had left for turning. Now to make the drawstring casing, we had left a gap of 1 inch from the top, 1.5 inch. So now it is at 1 inch from the top, and we are going to draw a line and stitch over 1 inch from the top edge, then another stitch at 2 inches from the top. So it is going to set this opening in the center and 2 stitches on either sides of this opening. This is also going to do the same for the other opening which we have in the inside also. So let's do that. So after giving these stitches for the drawstring cases, this is how it looks from here and here. Now we are just left with putting the drawstrings. Now we can either use a drawstring that is available from the market, or like me, you can make your own drawstrings. So I've made one for the either side. So I'll insert it. And it's ready. This is how it looks from one side. A long yoga mat bag, and if I twist it over, this is how it's going to look from the other side. Wow, so nice, lovely. I am just going to knot the edges so that it doesn't slip in.